about a minute earlier. So thanks for coming. This is the third Laguna Hills Mutual open session, regular open meeting of the third Laguna Hills Mutual Board of Directors, a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. Today is a Tuesday, June 17th, 2025, 9:30 a.m. We're here at Laguna Hills Village Community Center boardroom. You can join by virtual meeting as well. Address is 24351 El Toro Road, Laguna Woods, California. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct the regular third board meeting in accordance with Civil Code 4930 and was hereby noticed in accordance with the Civil Code 4920. Since we have quorum, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Second, Director Fox, would you lead us for pledge allegiance, please? Thank you.
Everybody, hands over your heart.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. He's graduated from school so long ago. I made a copy of the Pledge of Allegiance just in case he does not remember, but I'm glad I don't have to. It's not insulting. I just try to joke.
Listen, I think he did such a good job, we make him the permanent player.
I second that.
Next month was Director Solstek. That's what I had in mind. Well, anyway, you can negotiate. Now, item third, approval of agenda.
I so move. Second.
Makila, you got it?
I moved.
Makila,
And a second.
yeah. Okay, good. Any changes of the agenda today? Anything that we need to discuss?
When we get to the consent calendar, we'll remove it at that.
Yeah,
point.
that's.
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay,
what
so,
you're thinking.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
So,
when we get to the consent, we'll remove it.
okay.
Not the
So,
agenda.
that's fine. So,
I
we-
apologize. If you guys are removing something from the consent calendar, it would need to be now during the approval of the agenda, or would it?
Okay. So that's,
We usually waited and done
Yeah.
it when we get to the consent calendar.
Well,
let's go.
Yeah, because, it was already on the agenda, so you're having to revise the agenda essentially because it was
Okay.
posted to the public.
Okay,
Then
makes
I'll
sense.
make, I'll make a motion that on the consent calendar, under 9D4,
Mm-hmm.
that 9D4 be removed from the consent calendar for discussion,
I second
separate
that.
discussion.
Okay. Discussion or move back
For
to
discussion.
committee?
For discussion.
For
Discussion,
And then,
okay.
and decision about what to do with it.
Okay, good, thank you. So, Robert, move, and Reza, second. All in favor? Say aye. Okay, good, thank you. Unanimous. Okay, next item is item 4, approval of a minute. First, April 9th, annual audit meeting.
So moved.
And the B, May 20th, regular open meeting. C, June 2nd, budget landscape review meeting. And then D, June 6th, regular prep meeting.
I move them all.
Okay.
I'll second.
Robert move and Reza second. On the item B, May 2nd, 20th, I have one question. Item 6.
Item 6.
May 20?
Yes, page 2 of 20. of last month's minutes. With the previous written authorization from an owner, a lessee committed on an aggressive neighbor who allegedly assaulted his partner recently in their building elevator. I cannot tolerate anyone assault disabled person. So, Yvonne, could you update on that one, please?
Sure, as the board is aware, we can't give out specific information on a compliance case in open
Yeah.
session.
Yeah, that's.
But please be advised that the board takes these types of complaints seriously. Should a resident experience this type of behavior, they're encouraged to call the Security Services Department. That telephone number is 949-580-1400 for documentation and further action. Likewise, a resident can call the Orange County Sheriff's Department as well. The governing documents allow the board to impose disciplinary action in the form of monetary penalties, suspension of member privileges such as the cable TV services or access to GRF facilities, and bring forth legal action if necessary to gain compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. We will impose at our utmost important on this matter. I cannot accept any tolerance of this. Thank you. I mean, our board, not myself. Yeah. So, since Robert moved and then Reza second on the approval of minutes, any question or any objection? No? Okay. Say aye.
Me.
So unanimous. Number 5, report of chair. I do have remarks. Report of the chair. During the month of May, a significant event has happened to myself that impact on my life forever. Consequently, I had to have my own time to go through the event. That was the reason that I missed the last month open board meeting. However, I still have moment to reflect myself to go through the event. Today, I'd like to announce and report a current status of the following 6 important matters of the third board. Third mutual. First, 2026 budget. On June 6, 2025, version 1 has been reviewed. A significant increase of the budget has been proposed that would be very hard for third resident to accept the budget increase, including myself. Third alone, 10.3%, $63.25. GRF, 13.9%, which is $33.08, and result in total of 11.3%. The increased 2026 budget, $96.33 PM per mana per month. My goal is less than 3% increase of 2026. Excuse me.
Apparently, they like that goal.
Yeah.
They made it.
My goal is less than total 3% increase of 2026. I hope all of our residents join me this budget battle 3% target. Second, landscape. Bartlett tree expert continue to work diligently with the third. Tree trimming efforts are actively underway, with the crews currently working on Gate 14. Slopes remain on schedule, with the special attention being given to replacing bare area of the slopes. The first rotation of the scheduled maintenance has been completed. The third landscape committee is collaborating with the staff on the new OCFA fire department regulation map as part of this effort, the team is currently mapping the distance between trees and resident units to help be prepared for new fire regulation being released at the end of this year. In addition, PPRP is progressing in Gate 14, specifically near the paint project. The contractor has reached the last CDS in 2024 list in the Gate 10. Oh, excuse me, reached the CDS. And then in 2024, the list of the Gate 10 area. The work in this area aligned with the community paint program and the new fire regulations for Fire Zero. 3, MNC PPRP. Currently, MNC crews are working at Gate 14, and a noticeable progress has been made. After Gate 14 area, MNC and Landscape will coordinate to move to Gate 10 to address Fire Zero required as well. Number 4, Ting Fiber 2026. GRF and the VMS made it the official introduction of Ting Internet and Direct TV service to Laguna Wood Village. This exciting milestone brings ultra-fast fiber internet and premium entertainment options to our community, targeting a completion of 2027. As an initial part of the program, a new fiber installation already restarted June 7 at Gate 1 and Gate 4 area. Item 5, multicultural event, so-called Unity Festival on September 30th, 2025, Tuesday from 4:30 p.m. through 7:30 p.m. at Clubhouse 2 near golf course. Target price is $20, including food and live entertainment. Please come and join food and entertainment. Item 6, Architectural Control Committee. Please note that today, Third Board will approve a new bill that includes a significant increase of monetary policy in order to discourage unauthorized alteration. Thanks for listening. Now, item 6, open forum. Prior to open forum,
Hold on. We have 6B,
Oh.
only 5B.
5B? Oh, yeah, right. I'm sorry.
We have the council here.
Now, 5B is the quarterly Laguna Woods City Council presentation. City Manager Chris Macon at 9:35 a.m. Is it 35? Oh, no. I said 42. Sorry.
Welcome,
So-
Chris.
Perfectly happy to wait. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you.
for having
It's
me
your
again.
turn.
Good to see everyone.
Good to see you too.
I wanted to run through just a couple of things. The city operates on a budget beginning July 1st. So the 3 things I wanted to talk about today are things that are included in our next 2-year budget and work plan. One of them you're already aware of. I wanted to talk about the trash enclosure signage that's coming after the first of the year. And then I wanted to touch on a new public safety grant program that should be of direct benefit to Third Mutual, and then some improvements that are planned for Santa Maria, which I know majority affects Third residents. So trash enclosure signage, we have been working with both Third and United for a while now to design signage for each of the enclosures that would identify a unique number. Each enclosure is numbered behind the scenes. Right now, if you go out to an enclosure, there's no way of definitively identifying the location. So we received a state of California grant through CalRecycle to install signage on each of the trash enclosures. They're small signs, they're only 5 by 7. They do include the village's branding. And then a number that when your residents have an issue with a trash enclosure, whether it's a missed pickup, a trash enclosure that needs cleaning, contamination in a trash enclosure, they can use that number to report it. That will make it a very one-to-one fix for CR&R to come out and know exactly which enclosure it is, rather than saying, well, it's the one that's south of building, X. And so we think this will go a long way towards making it both easier to report issues and then also making it easier and quicker for CR&R to resolve issues. So it should be a net positive to everybody. This will come at absolutely no cost to Third Mutual. Same issue for United. We will handle the fabrication and installation of the signage. Beginning shortly after July 1st, probably. It'll take a couple of months to get out there. Between Third and United, there's 444 signs that need to be installed. So it'll take a little bit of time, but when it's done, I do think this will be a significant customer service benefit for everybody. And then once they're up, the city will also be responsible for maintaining them for a number of years as well. Next slide. Another thing that's in our upcoming two-year budget that we're pretty excited about, and I think, again, will directly benefit Third, is a new public safety grant program. We've included $500,000 in the next two-year budget for that, with a caveat that we're open to revisiting and increasing the amount at some point during the year based on reception to the grant program. But one of the things that is important to us is that we do what we can to defray the cost of the coming state regulations that your president just mentioned related to Zone 0 fire clearance around homes. It'll require significant landscape investment in improving defensible space. Rather than having Third and GRF, who are the primary affected parties, pay for that entirely themselves, we've set aside some money to assist with that design and implementation effort. And then we also set a second priority to use some of this funding to encourage the registration and integration of private security cameras, both residential communities and businesses, with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. They have a program called Connect Orange County that seeks to, on one level, identify where security cameras are so that if they're engaged in an active investigation, they know ahead of time, okay, this building has cameras that might be, proximate to wherever the incident occurred. And then there's a second level that's optional to actually integrate those with the Sheriff's Department, giving them access in the event of an emergency. The general theory being, like, if you had a worst case scenario, right? If there was an active shooter in a building, if there were security cameras inside the building, that call comes in, the Sheriff's Department could turn on those cameras and get real-time access to what's going on inside the building before their deputies enter. So we're looking to both defray the cost of the purchase of the equipment to make that integration possible. And then the principal priority, though, in this grant program will be those Zone 0 defensible space regulations. So I would expect most of that $500,000 to go towards that. And we'll obviously be in touch with your staff once we get that program up and running. Slide. And then just the other thing I wanted to talk about, we undertake a lot of capital improvements every year, but I wanted to focus specifically on Santa Maria since I know that principally serves Third residents. We have a lot of planned improvements on Santa Maria. I do want to note, however, that the City of Laguna Woods doesn't maintain the entirety of Santa Maria. It is a little bit of an odd situation where we maintain the beginning and the end of the road, so from Moulton to Gate 8, and then essentially from a little before Santa Victoria all the way to the western end. The middle of Santa Maria is maintained by the City of Laguna Hills, but as you'll see, we've partnered with them on some of this work. All of the eastbound lanes on Santa Maria between Moulton Parkway and Santa Victoria will be repaved next year. That includes the Laguna Hills portion. They're going to join us in this project. This is repaving. It isn't slurry sealing, so it's what we've done throughout the rest of the city, but it's grinding several inches down and laying new asphalt. So it'll be a much better driving surface once that gets taken care of. We'll also be reconstructing the driveway crossing where the sidewalk crosses the driveway on the westbound side of Santa Maria. right as you pass Polly's Pies. So there's two driveways going into that center, not the first one that's larger, but the second one that's a little bit smaller. We'll be reconstructing that to improve accessibility over it. The traffic signals at Santa Maria and Moulton Parkway will be rehabbed as well. So those will receive new backplates and visors. You're looking at a traffic signal. That's the black piece of metal behind the colored lights, the little caps over each of the lights. We'll also be replacing the illuminated street name signs there. Those are the green signs that hang down and say Santa Maria or Moulton Parkway. And then, like GRF's doing with Ting, we're in the process of swapping out copper wiring to our traffic signals with fiber optic cabling. And so in that first batch of improved communication systems, we've included the Santa Maria Moulton Parkway traffic signals in that. So we'll be doing fiber from Paseo de Valencia and El Toro up to El Toro and Moulton, and then north to Santa Maria and Moulton Parkway as the initial deployment of that. And then finally, we will be adding a new safety light at the southwest corner of that Moulton and Santa Maria intersection. So that's you can think of where the Laguna Woods Village wall sign is. If you're standing at that sign and you're crossing to like where the Sylvester Senior Center is, that street, when you step off the curb there's a safety light overhead at every corner of that intersection, with the exception of that southwest corner headed north. So we've set an internal priority to get all of our crosswalks to have a safety light at either end. This will be the second location where we're deploying the additional safety lights. We'll be doing that over the course of 4 years. So anyway, just wanted to share those improvements with you. Happy to answer any questions you have about these or anything else you'd like to talk about.
Do we have any questions?
Any new information on the new fire station?
We are finalizing lease negotiations with the Orange County Fire Authority. I expect you'll see that show up on a city council agenda this summer, potentially as early, well, I would say there's some chance of July, but probably August or thereabouts is my expectation. And then the Orange County Fire Authority is going through their own budget process. And then they have also started the architectural engineering discussion to figure out exactly how they're going to design and build that station. And then separately, we're working with them on the potential for a temporary fire station in another location in the city to fill the need in the interim before the new permanent station is built.
We are still at the early stages yet. We haven't really solidified anything yet.
I would say that we're at the early stages and that we're still working on a lease agreement for the permanent station, but I would also say that the city and the fire authority have a pretty common understanding of what's going to happen with the property. I think this is more like, putting dominoes in a row type of thing.
Yeah, because that fire station is really for gate 10 and 11 is critical. And
Yes.
we hope that we can get it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can
The
push
city
it
only
through.
has one piece of that, right? The city is making the property
I understand.
available to the fire station.
I understand.
They'll have to actually build it after that. I will just temper expectations by saying that it will take the fire authority several years to design and build that station, but I expect that we will have the land piece of it taken care of quickly. And then, like I said, we're working with them on a temporary station, so though it won't be in that same location, I expect that there will very likely be a temporary station for the couple of years that it takes to get the new permanent station built.
And when you expect to have your MOU signed by the United and Third to get the sign in place?
The
Because
trash
you're talking
enclosure
about-
signage?
Yeah.
So that's actually on the city council's agenda tomorrow. I expect to have
Oh,
it signed
okay.
tomorrow.
That's
for
good.
both. Yeah, we've already received the signatures from Third and United, so
That's great.
yeah.
Thank you, Chris. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anybody else has a question? No? Oh, yeah.
Very much.
Thank you.
I do have some questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Dr. Yun?
Thank you for presenting all the update and all that. But city or county, all our residents, Third Mutual as well, United, paying the property tax as same as any other place. And somehow inside the boundary of the Laguna Wood Village are not included, seems to me, at the cities or Orange County's infrastructure, like street, pavement, sewer system, or you just mentioned about security. And that if you're going to have a security lighting or videotape or all that, is that only outside the boundary or included inside as well?
Well, there's a couple parts to that. The law enforcement services apply throughout Laguna Woods. So you receive Orange County Sheriff's services by virtue of the city's contracting with them. That's both inside and outside the gates. We don't maintain the roads inside the community because they're private. So you have a private road and sidewalk and landscape system that exists lots of places in Orange County. And if you think about like use a single homeowner who just owns a home on a piece of land, the city doesn't maintain your landscaping. It doesn't maintain the walkway up to your house. It's on a much larger scale here, but you have predominantly private infrastructure. So public monies don't fund private infrastructure. We do provide law enforcement services and we do provide fire services within Laguna Woods Village, but the majority of the rest of that is up to the private property owner.
Anybody else? Yes. Ruth? Yes.
Is there any plan to extend Santa Maria?
No.
No, okay.
Yeah. That was
You're looking for an investor to build out there and then complete the road?
So Santa Maria was originally intended, this is decades and decades ago, the plan was for Santa Maria to extend all the way back to Laguna Canyon Road and for pretty much everything between the end of the Gate 10 and 11 neighborhoods and Laguna Canyon Road to be residential. That has since been, the property beyond the end of Santa Maria has since been preserved for open space purposes, so there won't be development back there. One of the reasons that the city incorporated was to prevent that extension from taking place. There's no possibility that that happens in the future. So Santa Maria ends or Santa Maria ends.
Don't want anything back there.
Anybody else has a question? No? Okay. I have a quick question.
Sure.
The first one, you said $500,000 you allocated for fire and security. Could you share what is the proportion between fire and...
We haven't gotten that far, but I will tell you that the equipment necessary to integrate the security cameras, that second part of the program, is not very expensive. And so I mean, off the top of my head, I would imagine that probably no more than $15,000 would be devoted to the security camera piece of it.
Okay.
And the majority would be devoted to the landscape improvements to comply with
for
Zone
fire,
Zero.
Zone 0.
Yeah.
In that case, that is our Gate 10 and Gate 11 area. Is that true, or is it?
Yeah, so it's generally, it spans all the way from Gate 9 up to Gate 11. It's that wildland urban interface area. So the two property owners principally affected by it are the Golden Rain Foundation and Third Mutual.
Okay.
So, and of those two, obviously, Third is affected to a far greater extent than GRF. So I would imagine that most of that funding would be available to Third to subsidize landscape.
Good, thank you. I'm looking forward to. We need help as much as we
Yeah.
can. You know that.
No, we know that, yes.
Yeah, okay, good, thank you. And the second one is slurry coating. There are slurry coating, and the other technique was, what was the coating method? Two different. Seal coat, slurry coating and seal coating. Which one you're talking about?
I'm not talking about either. So we're grinding several inches of the pavement down, and then we lay several inches
ripping
of
off
new
and
asphalt
then
on
new
top
asphalt?
of it.
Okay, that's a different.
It's a replacement.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Always a pleasure.
Thank you,
Enjoy the
Chris.
rest
Thank
of your
you.
Thank you.
Okay, now it's a real time for
Member comments.
member comments. Okay, prior to open forum, member comments, I would like to remind everyone that any open forum speakers are limited for 3 minutes per speaker. At this time, members only address the board of directors regarding items not on the agenda and within the jurisdiction of this board of directors. The third board reserved the right to limit the total time allotted for open forum to 30 minutes. A member may speak only once during the forum. A speaker may not yield their time to other members. No audio or video recording by attendees, and no rude or threatening comments are allowed. Members can attend our meeting by joining Zoom link and or email meeting@vmsinc.org to have your message read during the open forum. Thank you. And Michaela, is there member comments?
Yes, we have 3 in-person commenters, and then we have one who emailed, who requested for me to read their email during the Vigus item under unfinished business. The first person is Carmen Pachella.
Thank you. Carmen and Dorothy Pachella, 65E. My wife and I want to offer a special thank you to all the board members for all of your good volunteer work. As residents of this remarkable community, we all benefit from the dedication of those who serve on our 5 governing boards. These boards make critical decisions that shape our daily lives, from budgets to amenities to long-term planning. As you know, we are in the general election cycle to select new mutual board directors. We can help by encouraging more volunteers to run for these positions. A few residents and former board directors, committee members, and advisors have arranged a village-wide town hall to encourage and assist volunteers to run for these positions. So please join us for a village-wide town hall meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. to noon at the PAC. This gathering is a crucial opportunity for all of us to understand the decisions that will shape the future of our communities. This town hall will provide valuable insight into how decisions are made, and more importantly, how residents can contribute to these decisions. We need to make sure that all voices are heard. We urge all residents, all directors, all committee members, advisors of all mutuals, and all governing boards to attend and take part in this important meeting. The strength and future of our community depends on everyone's involvement. Thank you. Thanks to all of your volunteer time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Chris Collins.
Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I'm here with a report from the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village on the work that we do on behalf of residents that are experiencing temporary financial crisis. The Foundation of Laguna Woods Village is proud to announce that it has been selected as a 2025 California Nonprofit of the Year by Assemblywoman Diane Dixon. The foundation is one of more than 100 nonprofits that were honored by their state senators and assemblymen for their outstanding contributions to the communities that they serve. Since it started 28 years ago, the foundation is the village's very own charity, and we take steps to provide temporary financial assistance to residents facing financial challenge. So working with the village social services staff, assistance is confidential and limited to residents. In addition, the foundation provides funding towards Meals on Wheels, Alzheimer's daycare, transportation to the food pantry, emergency response devices, and most recently, hearing aids. Most recent initiative was a public education effort on emergency preparedness. The foundation's ability to continue as a resource, according to the president of the village, of the foundation, Marcy Shinewell, this is a tribute to the village who has sustained it over the years. Individuals and club contributions have ensured that help is available for our neighbors. So being chosen as 2025 Nonprofit of the Year by Assemblyman Dixon is really a tribute to the whole entire village. We are grateful for the work of the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village and want to extend our congratulations for this very well-deserved recognition. This came from the CEO of the California Association of Nonprofits, and they're the ones that sponsored this event. Nonprofits provide critical services, advocate for the most vulnerable neighbors, enrich the lives of all Californians. From the child care program to the soccer team, from the art class to the health clinic, and from the community organizers to the animal shelter, nonprofits make our communities strong. Now in its 10th year, the California Nonprofit of the Year initiative provides opportunities for each California state legislator to recognize a nonprofit organization doing outstanding work in their district. So the program culminated on a day at the Capitol, in which was in May 21st, and that was when we were honored. So the program is sponsored by the California Nonprofits in partnership with the state senators and Assembly Select Committees on Nonprofit Sector. And Cal Nonprofits, the leading policy voice for California's nonprofit sector, focuses on advocacy, education, research, to build more powerful and politically engaging nonprofit networks across the state. Sorry, that was right up to a lot of words there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. The foundation is really so grateful for the ongoing support of residents and clubs. So thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you for your service. Yeah, thank you.
And congratulations.
Anybody else? Michaela?
Yes, we have two more. Next is Doug Gibson.
Okay.
Good morning, 5289. Good morning to everybody. Just a couple of things. I was suggested that I come and mention that we are having our spring annual Gate 11 meeting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, Clubhouse 1, and going from there. And basically, we've got several issues that are kind of unique for our area and a lot of questions coming on up as far as the turf reductions, the trees, the water, the bump and doom. And so Kurt has pretty much the best grasp of that. So he's going to come and explain to our residents all of the different issues that are maybe a little inherent into our particular area. If anybody's happening to see this that lives in Gate 11, please try to drop on in at Clubhouse 1 tomorrow morning and go from that standpoint. I just was tickled pink to hear about the fire station because that was one of the questions that's come on up. Where's the location of the fire station is the only other question I have.
Right across from Gate 12.
I'm sorry?
Across from Gate 12.
Okay, that was the designated.
That's a piece of land, that strip piece of land that they're taking. It's going to be only two probably unit in there, one probably ambulance and one the engine. It's going to be small, but the requirement is that they have to respond within 5 minutes. And right now where they're located, getting to the end of Gate 10 or 11 sometimes take more than 5 minutes. That's why they have to put another one.
Yeah, no, it's a very important situation for us, and that's just one of the questions that come on up. The 18, 19 years that we've lived up in that area and everything else on it is, there have been 3 fires. And through security, apparently back 20 years ago, the security department came and went to the manors and talked about the fire alarms. And we were after that type of situation. But with the 3 fires that we've had in the our gate, and I think there was another serious one in Gate 10 during this period of time, the residents have lost total access to their facilities from, maybe 8 to 12 months, give or take one way or the other on it. So there's some conflict that seems to be necessary to work between the insurance agencies and the accommodations that are given for people that lose their houses. I ran a quick survey in getting ready for tomorrow. I figure about 25% of our residents are single women or are husband and wives that really need assistance. And so one of the things that we're trying to tie into on it is how can we keep people informed of what's happening to their neighborhood. So we're kind of building up a little bit of a neighborhood watch tied into what's going to be happening with the security situation on that area. So that would be the 1, 2, 3 questions that I have on it. I think the main thing on it is we're just trying to open up communication in our particular area. I'm sorry, idiosyncrasies are there, and nice to see everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Your service is outstanding. He doesn't even have a good time walking yet. He served. Okay.
Kayla has one for me.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
Well,
there is one more.
I actually have one more in-person
Yeah, there is one more.
speaker.
Yes. Okay.
I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Feroze Hagigi? Okay, thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm in the unit 24042H. I purchased this unit last year. And for this 1 year, I have the harassment and have some safety issue from the upstairs unit. I already put a lot of details and my experience in this letter, and I will give you to board member. The reason that I bring it this
Could you
issue
speak
here-
up a little bit?
Yeah, the reason that I bring it out this issue because the acting that the guy doing in the upstairs that is very strange. And actually, I move out from my unit and I don't stay for more than 7 months in the unit because the treatment to the maybe something get out from the unit. Actually, I put a lot of detail and my experience in this letter, and I will give you to a board member. I wish you can help me. And another things, you are doing a lot of security in this community. And the reason that I move here because I feel this community is safe. But during the 1 year, I didn't have this safety. And you can see my letter that is more
Hand that
detailed.
to the
Hand it to the secretary, yeah.
And-
She will distribute.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Is she concerned with a neighbor?
Okay. I don't have to spend, okay. Okay,
That's all for open forum, but there is one for unfinished business, but I'll remind you guys then. But that's all for open forum.
Okay.
okay. So that's all for member comment, right? Good. Next item is,
Response.
oh, response?
Yeah, I just, going back to the comment about the new fire station, which is going to be very welcome. For those who aren't aware, and I assume that's probably most of us, our existing fire station, we have been informed, is usually the second busiest fire station in the country. So we need the help.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay. Anybody else? Oh, you want to say?
Well, there's
Did
a
you-
response here right now.
Is it response or you want to make a comment?
I spoke to you this weekend about changing my walkway, and you told me to show up here at 10 o'clock. And so,
Oh, you have to register, okay.
well, I asked
Whatever.
the lady, and she told me.
Go ahead, yes,
I
please.
just, 3480A, the cement walkway is built in 1976. It's falling apart. It's cracked. It's It's all green. I'm having to constantly pressure wash it to get the mold out. I'd like to replace it with pavers, pretty much exactly the way it is. If you, especially the part that goes on the side of the house to the front door, but I also like to do the front, but whatever you say is fine. I have plans and pictures if you like to see them, but.
Okay, well, we have that here on
And so-
our agenda.
And one other
So-
thing, when we bought our house, somebody put a wall around the back, and it's about yay high, and you can't get out. They didn't put an exit door on it. And this last year, my wife had spinal surgery, and we have no way in case of an emergency to get out of the back of the house because the wall goes around. In 2019, I asked permission to do it, and somebody said that if we give you permission to put a wall in there, you might go in the common area. So they refused it. But now that my wife, in an emergency, she had the spinal surgery, she cannot get over the wall. I just want to have an emergency gate to put in the wall. That's all. Nothing.
Okay.
And that was all I have to say.
Your unit numbers are 3480A.
Yes, correct.
Okay, yes. I visited
Yeah,
your
you saw me,
place.
yes,
Yeah,
correct.
okay, that's fine. We'll discuss that.
When will I have an
Well-
answer?
Okay, hold on.
He needs to take that to alterations.
Right.
And file a request.
I did.
Well, that's where that needs to go in terms of a
But
process.
they said that they can't approve it. Used to be a board that they had,
Well, what happens is if they can't formally approve it and you're asking for what's called a variance, it'll come before the architectural committee and the architectural committee would then consider.
Like,
the
that's what I
request.
thought I was coming. How do I get to the architectural, through them?
Just first initially file the alteration request.
I did that months ago, yes.
Months ago. We'll follow up. Okay.
Go ahead, Siobhan.
Alan is sitting in the audience. I'll ask him to meet with you briefly outside the
Yeah.
boardroom.
Yeah, so Ellen, and then talk to him, and
Yes.
then we'll go through the paperwork, okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he shouldn't have, there was no reason for him to come here.
Right. Okay. That's all for respond to the speakers? No, not anymore?
I just want to thank Carmen and Chris both for the public services.
Okay,
You
good,
guys
thank
doing
you.
great. Keep it up.
Okay, anybody else? No? Good. Okay, item B is respond to past open forum speakers. We have three. First, Chris Collins and Jules Jellin, and tenant with owners of 2381 3D, which is assault. Siobhan already made a comments of that one, so we cannot discuss that in the open forum. And do we want to discuss?
No,
with
there's
them?
nothing else to
Nothing else,
discuss.
okay, good, thank you. And then we're done for the 7B. Now, item 8, which is the CEO report.
Thank you,
Siobhan?
Thank you,
Take
President
away,
Park.
yeah.
I appreciate it. Members of the board, this morning it is my honor to highlight the recent Employee Excellence Award recipients. The VMS Excellence Awards, presented yearly in the fall and the spring, recognize outstanding employees who demonstrate excellent customer service, achieve great results on projects, and regularly go above and beyond their regular job duties. These recipients...
Hold on, Siobhan. Alan, could you take that outside, because we can hear everything, and we're trying to hear Siobhan.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Robert.
From the Community Services Division, Jeff Spies, Community Services Manager, was recognized for making a seamless transition into management following the retirement of a beloved 30-year veteran, reflecting his deep commitment to the division's continued success. Angela Velasquez Gonzalez, Community Services Specialist, has made an incredible impact in just 1 year since her promotion from resident services, mastering leasing operations, streamlining processes, and training new staff. In the Communications Division, Jenning Lai, Communications Associate, has distinguished herself as a results-driven professional with a strong record of achievement, most notably for her outstanding work on the new community website. Susan Logan McCracken, Communications Associate, seamlessly stepped in to lead the Village Breeze, bringing focus, creativity, and consistency to one of our most important resident-facing publications. From the Finance Department, Blake LaFonte, Senior Financial Analyst, is an exemplary employee who ensures the budget process runs smoothly and cross-trains colleagues in all aspects of budget process. Ainsley Sangalong is the payroll supervisor. She's a cornerstone of the payroll team, ultra reliable, independent, and consistently contributing behind the scenes to enhance the payroll system. Kayla Ibali, payroll specialist, has excelled in just 18 months, mastering new responsibilities and eagerly taking on additional tasks to support the department. In the compliance division, Daniel Magnuson and Carlos Ortiz are compliance inspectors. They demonstrate exceptional attention to detail that supports a smooth, board-approved disciplinary process, while professionalism and courtesy help bring cases into compliance. In social services, Kathy Villafana, administrative specialist, goes above and beyond to ensure that every interaction is handled with care, accuracy, and a positive attitude, consistently creating a welcoming, efficient experience for residents, families, and staff. In the Security Services Division, Melissa Avalos is a security patrol officer who demonstrates a strong work ethic, a commitment to learning, and a calm, effective presence under pressure, most recently shown during a DUI stop and de-escalating a tense incident with a homeless individual.
Oh, okay.
Our Landscaping Services Department recognizes the landscaping supervisors whose names are listed on the screen before you. These gentlemen serve as the backbone of our operations with a combined 182 years of service to the community. It's just outstanding that they are so committed to our community. They lead from the front, work alongside their teams, meet challenges head-on, and ensure every task is completed with the highest standards of quality and safety. Landscaping also recognized Luis Barreto, senior sprayer lead, who demonstrates exceptional dedication, professionalism, and leadership, consistently exceeding expectations, and recently earning his QAL in categories A and B to further his professional growth. In our Recreation and Special Events Department, Renee Anderson from the Performing Arts Center has done an outstanding job coordinating box office and front of house operations, and is now leading the implementation of the new box office software. Shun Ong is a recreation coordinator who is an invaluable member of the department, bringing accuracy, attention to detail, and a calm, positive approach to every challenge, consistently earning praise from residents. General Services recognize Juvie Gonzalez, Vehicle Inventory Control Specialist, who provides essential operational support to our mechanics, maintaining inventory, ordering parts, and assisting vendors, ensuring timely payments. Young Shik Chin is a part-time bus driver who is also a resident. He is dedicated and always willing to go above and beyond. He has maintained a perfect safety record for 5 years and is beloved by residents for treating everyone with dignity, care, and respect. Our Maintenance Construction Department recognized Joe Seha, Damage Restoration Supervisor, who coordinates daily moisture intrusion events while skillfully mitigating complaints and disputes with responsiveness, attention to detail, and outstanding customer service. Jessica Lozada is an Inspector 1 in manor alterations. After taking night classes to prepare for advancement, she was promoted to Inspector 1 and quickly embraced a temporary assignment, learning the inspection process and training a new resales inspector after a resignation. Human Resources recognized Kimberly Camargo. She's an HRIS coordinator who brings great heart to human resources, not just through the systems she manages, but in how she sees the people behind the data. Her dedication, warmth, and blend of precision and empathy inspire deep respect. And lastly, there was a team award to the Human Resources Department, whose members are listed on the screen. This team comprises the small but mighty HR team that embodies the spirit of the Wizard of Oz, proving every day that they have the experience, excellence, commitment, courage, and heart to face all challenges that come their way. I hope this morning that you'll join me in congratulating these and other outstanding VMS employees who serve our community every day. And that concludes my update. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Siobhan. The good, talented people we need, and diligent people as well. Okay, that's it for CEO report. And the next item is consent calendar. A, B, C, D, E, recommendation to approval, updated committee assignment as well. So since we have a D4 is removed from consent calendar, Do we have any questions regarding?
I'll move approval of the consent calendar.
With the change.
Well, we already made the
Yeah,
change.
Change.
I second it.
Okay. Robert moved and the Reza second. Any question regarding the consent calendar? No? I do have. Item 9B. We have 4 resale initiation, which is, not resale, the foreclosure initiation. How long does it take after we file? That's my question. If we can't answer it, that's fine. Before we actually sell the unit.
We don't sell.
I'll get you an answer and provide it in just a moment. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay, good. Thank you. We have 4 items for sale, and we have 6 items for lien against those units. Okay, so that's all I have question. How long does it take actually we sell complete?
Question?
Question, yeah.
Sure, Mr. Chair,
Sure, yes.
I'm not sure where this goes into the order, but we had looks like a resident that wanted to speak during an open forum. I'm not sure how that would work.
Okay.
He wants to speak to what we've removed.
Right, this gentleman didn't know the procedure, and so I let him know that prior to the start of the meeting, he would have had to fill out the open forum card.
Okay.
I said if he has any things he'd like to address, he could wait until the open session meeting has ended, and he could speak to any of you directors about his issue that he has.
Okay, so are we going to allow him?
No, there's nothing to speak at this point.
Right.
I have I'm not familiar with this procedure, so I missed it.
Just hold on. Just hold on. Are we going to allow him to speak? We remove.
Since we removed from consent, and it's not on agenda any longer.
Right.
So he become resident, he want to speak, we should let him
No,
speak.
it's still on the agenda.
It's still on the
It
agenda.
was just removed from the consent calendar.
Yeah.
It'll come up later.
For the discussion.
For the discussion.
That's when you can
Okay.
He can speak to the item at that point in time, right?
Exactly. So you wait till
Okay,
it's
why
going
don't
to
you
come
wait
up
till
again,
your
and then you can come.
discussion?
Okay, so when we're going to discuss? After we finish this?
Yeah, I didn't know that was his item, but if he wants to fill out a card right here, he could fill out this card, and when
Okay. After
Right, and
we
then when you
approve the
guys are on
consent
it.
calendar, we'll bring that item
Yeah,
to
so
discuss.
when you guys are discussing that item, we'll make sure that his name is called up to
Right,
speak then.
okay, so,
Hearing all of that, we have the motion to approve the consent calendar.
right.
Yeah.
So, any more question regarding consent calendar? No? All in favor of approval of the consent calendar? Raise your hand. Aye? Okay. It's unanimous. However, Director Reza is not here.
He's right there. He votes to approve. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
He's up there.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now, let's discuss about item 9D4, which is removed from consent calendar.
No?
No?
It comes later.
Later? When it's going to come up?
It's now item 11E, under new business.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know the procedure. Okay. Okay. We all finished item 9. Now, item 10, unfinished business. Item A, entertain a motion to rescind the directive to remove decorative architectural roundwood element, which is a Vegas, during prior to paint program for the remaining buildings. It has been satisfied 28-day requirement for the notification. So, Steve,
Okay.
would you please read?
Yes, Resolution 03-25-XX, decorative architectural round wood elements known as vigas. Whereas in September 2016, the Maintenance and Construction Committee directed staff to discontinue the replacement of the wood elements known as vigas and infill with stucco as a mitigation solution for dry rot concerns during the prior to paint program. And whereas there has been an interest from members in the community in preserving and restoring the character-defining features of the building structures. And whereas on April 7th, 2025, the Maintenance and Construction Committee voted to recommend that the Board of Directors rescind the 2016 directive. Now therefore be it resolved on June 17th, 2025, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby rescinds the 2016 directive to remove the vigas during the Prior to Paint program. And resolve further, the Board of Directors hereby directs staff to retain the remaining vigas as is or replace as needed with marine grade wood to maintain the architectural integrity of the buildings. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
So move. Robert moves, and then Peggy second. Any discussion? We've discussed this many times. No? Okay. Okay.
There is a member comment if there is no board discussion.
Okay, that's fine.
It's from Jay Lessie, and he said, hello, board. It's me again, your resident architectural preservationist, Jay Lessie. Over the months, the community has shown their concern for our architecture, and at least 13 members commented in favor of retaining the remaining vigas. We commented at M&C and board meetings on March 3rd, March 18th, April 7th, and May 20th. I sent you photos of some beautiful examples of our Southwest style models that still have these vigas. Michaela made sure to get those photos to you at the last board meeting. You've also seen how bare and boxy these buildings look when the vigas are removed. It's been a long road to get to this point today where you will vote whether to save this architecture. Staff has indicated a good procedure to replace any of those vigas with better material in the rare event that they need replacement. To protect our curb appeal, property values, and architectural heritage, we urge you to vote to save the vigas. Thank you.
Okay. So, any more comments? Peggy? No. No comment? Okay. Are we ready to vote? Yes. Okay. Anyone who in favor of rescind? Say aye. Aye. Okay. All in favor, all unanimous. Oh, we should vote it?
Yeah, if you could use the screen.
Okay.
In front of you. Thank you.
Instead, we vote.
While we're voting, I just want to thank Jay Lessie and his other folks who have come forward over time, and we're glad to be able to support their request.
Right. Okay, the result is?
Perfect, thank you.
Perfect, 11 to none. So it's been approved.
And why was I out of coffee?
Yes, we let staff know, and they're getting ready to make more right now.
Okay. So we're done for item 10. Now, item 11, new business. I just informed by Siobhan that we will have 11E that is removed from 9D4 item. So at the end of 11, we will discuss item E.
Yes. Okay.
That's what I was told. Okay. Anyway.
11A.
11A. Entertain motion to approve amended schedule of monetary penalties. It is 28-day notice. So, Steve, could you read it?
Sure.
Please?
Resolution 03-25-XX, Schedule of Monetary Penalties. Whereas the Schedule of Monetary Penalties is required per Civil Code to identify violations and potential penalties which may be imposed upon a member following a disciplinary hearing by the Board of Directors for violations of the governing documents and rules and regulations by a member, co-occupant, guest, or lessee, and whereas the Resident Policy and Compliance Committee has recommended amending the Schedule of Monetary Penalties to increase the minimum penalty to $150 and the unauthorized alterations penalty maximum to $10,000. Now therefore be it resolved, July 15th, 2025, that the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby approves the attached amended schedule of monetary penalties and resolve further that Resolution 03-23-133 adopted November 21st, 2023 is hereby suspended and canceled. And resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
Okay.
So moved.
So Robert moves, second Peggy. Any discussion or opinion? Nothing?
I think we need to share with people
Right.
why we're doing this.
Okay. So,
Moon,
Would
go
you-
ahead, please.
yes, please.
If penalty is so low, it has been, then it gives incentive to those who want to get it through without the permit, without the authorization. And I like to give them, everybody, fair opportunity, but they have to stop at the stop sign, and at the green light they can go to green, they can go through. Nobody can go through stop sign. So if we increase this penalty higher and give them enough warning, nobody can get through. Have incentive, everybody waiting for 2 months or 3 months or even longer, and incurring monetary waiting, patience, all that. But there's some people who just get through and they get a very 200, 300 penalty. So I want to make sure this is enough inhibit to any thinking about that they can get through without permit.
Okay. Anybody else want to make a comment? Yes, please.
In that area, there are some things that don't have to do with the alterations. It's debris and working beyond the hours. And I'm wondering if those should be moved out of there to a 150 and 2,000, rather than the 150 to 10,000. I don't know who will make the deliberation as to how you find them, but it seems that those are not the same type of violation that working without a permit is. They seem to be lesser.
Okay, I guess this executive hearing committee will initiate the fines and penalties and so forth. So it's not one particular person's decision.
No, but it seems that there's a great deviation between debris
Okay,
and working in hours and variance.
Robert?
My sense is that if it's debris, it'd be down closer to the $150 penalty. And if it's a violation of a permit, in terms of a permit not being approved or something of that nature, that would be on the higher end. So I think that the fact that it goes from 150
to 10,000
doesn't mean that debris is going to be a $10,000 fine.
Right.
Okay.
That's my sense.
Depends on the size of the debris.
It's a judgment call that we have to make very consciously.
It's going to have to be a consistent judgment.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Donna has a comment.
Okay, Donna, yes.
I just want to emphasize, this is not an intent to improve our income. It's an intent to have standards followed and maintain the standards
Yes.
that the community has set. So I want to make sure everybody knows that.
Right, okay. Anybody else want to make a comment before we voted for 28-day notice? No? I have one comment. Yes, we want to prevent from unauthorized alteration. Yet, if there is very honest mistake for the alteration, that is my concern.
Well, that's the-
Unintentional.
Well, that's where the committee look at things and evaluate, because, it's not absolute that, if you do something, this is what happens. It goes in front of the committee. Committee would look at all the evidence and make a judgment. And the judgment based on the, what happened, what are the documentation. So the decision is made based on that. It's not, zero sum, either this or no. So there's going to be evaluation on everything.
I just want to point out that for the fairness and reasonable to the residents, that's
Absolutely.
why. Okay, thank you. So, is there any more comment or nothing? Let's vote on. It's a 9. Oh, mine is not there. I got it. Okay, it's 11. Thank you. So motion has passed. Item B, 11B. Entertain motion to approve supplemental appropriation of $65,000 for wall repair near Gate 9 to be funded from reserve fund. Steve, would you please?
Okay, Resolution 03-25-XX, supplemental appropriation for Gate 9 block wall repair. Whereas on May 9th, 2025, the City of Laguna Woods notified VMS staff of the failing block wall near Gate 9, which was beginning to impact a traffic signal cabinet. And whereas an inspection on May 12th, 2025 confirmed damage behind the cabinet likely caused by slope runoff and dense vegetation. And whereas a licensed structural engineer conducted an evaluation confirming the need for repair and prepared construction plans for approval by the city building department to replace approximately 50 feet of the wall. And whereas staff will contract with one of the Third Mutual's qualified contractors under an existing annual contract for miscellaneous construction services. And whereas the approval budget for 2025 is insufficient to complete the repairs and will require a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $61,500. Now therefore be it resolved on June 17, 2025, the Board of Directors of this corporation hereby authorize a supplemental appropriation in the amount of $61,500 to be funded from the reserve fund, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Robert move and Reza second. Any discussion? Yes. Ruth?
I have one question. The northeast wall was also damaged.
North?
And falling down, is that part of the same
No, this,
thing, or is that someone run into it, or it's been fixed?
That was across the street.
Yeah, right across the other side of the intersection?
Yeah, no, that's two separate incidents.
Okay.
Right. This damage appears to be primarily due to excessive drainage and the extensive vegetation that's climbing along the wall.
And the other wall, is
I'm
that?
not aware of the, I'm not
That was
aware
car
of
accident.
Was it a car accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody hit it. Not you,
any
Paul.
more? Oh, please stay there. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
one
yeah.
quick question.
Sure.
The agenda makes reference to 65,000,
Yes.
but the motion
Yes,
is reference to
65,000.
61.5. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
61,500.
Yeah.
That was
So,
estimate.
I was going to ask the same question, but thank you for that.
You're welcome.
He's a money man.
So,
I don't want to.
what is correct? Which one is correct? 61,500 or 65,000?
What they say, it's good for us.
I believe our intent was to get an approval up to 65,000. The 61.5 is the
Actual.
bid from the contractor. Once we remove the vegetation, we'll be able to see the extent of the damage. Right now, the only visible part of the wall is the damage that's right by the traffic control
Yes.
cabinet. But if you were to climb on the backside and go down the slope, you can notice that the wall is leaning. We just don't know if it's going to have to be replaced or not.
I think we have to replace
Yeah,
it.
but I think you can go with the staff report 61.5, and then if we need more money, we can always come back to you.
Okay. So, 61,500, I walk off the length of the damaged area. It was about 40 or 45 feet. Okay? And if you calculate, it is more than $1,000 per foot. This is excessive to me. So I hope we don't have to pay this much to repair the 45-foot wall.
No, the bid,
Yeah,
the bid
we'll
from
have
is
that-
61.5. The bid from the contractor
No,
is 61.5.
I don't
We already
think,
have that
I
bid.
don't think, do we have a bid?
Yes, sir, and if you look at attachment 2, which is page 8 of your staff report, the dollars are not only for the wall, but we also have to get encroachment permit from the city. We have to close the traffic lanes, so they're going to have to bring out traffic control, which is separately, and then we'll have to get clearing and grubbing. So it's not just the block wall replacement. So if you, for example, to go online and say, what does it cost to replace a block wall, that doesn't include all these other items that need to be done.
Okay, still, okay, yes.
So, Emmanuel, if we started this work and then tear off, then you're alluding there will be more damage and it requires a much more intensive work needed to be done. Is that possible? Or is 61,500 is a fixed number?
For the amount.
Or you can go further than, much further than that?
We don't believe we'll need to go further, but we won't know for sure until all that vegetation is removed from the wall.
Okay.
But I'd be prepared to come back either on a special meeting or something if we were to need more. As soon as we clear that vegetation, we'll know right away.
So we don't know how much, but we need to start with this number.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, correct. I understand that.
Yes, I mean, I know there's two different numbers here, and you said you have a bid for 61.5, and then you hope it would not exceed that because some other things. Would it be appropriate here to have the appropriation be up to, as opposed to the actual bid itself?
Don't need to, because it could be more than the 65. Yeah.
But if he needs more than
If he
that,
needs more, he'll come back.
We'll come back to us.
So we would come
But I
back-
hope not. That's
So-
all I made a
okay.
comment.
So the
I
process will
hope
be...
not, because it's only 50 foot, let's say. It's
Okay.
more than $1,000 per foot.
So
Yeah,
the-
let's
so
not
the-
judge that. Let's
Right.
get there when
Mr.
we
Chairman,
cross that bridge.
I had a friend of mine that had to replace a block wall that was falling down from their side, and they had to go to the foundation when they moved it.
Yep.
It just
I understand.
incurred a lot of expenses.
So just to understand, the process would be, if it's more, he would come for a
Yeah.
supplemental?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Move, we call the question.
One correction, we need the amount changed on that.
The
to
61.5.
agree with the resolution.
Okay. Resolution was a 61.5.
Yeah.
So do you want-
61,500.
Do you need a motion for that?
No.
No,
Okay,
no,
just change it.
because the resolution states it.
Just change it.
Resolution
I
says.
already moved, we call the question.
Yes. So we already made a motion, 61,500.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. So if we don't have any more questions, please, let's vote. Okay, we got 11-0, so we got passed. Item B is done. Item C, entertain motion to approve recommendation to adopt the shrub replacement policy, which is 28 notification as well. So Steve, please read.
Sure. Resolution 03-25-XX, shrub replacement policy. Whereas the Landscape Department recognizes the need for a formal policy regarding to shrub replacement to promote consistent landscaping standards, sustainability, and long-term community landscape goals. And whereas the proposed shrub replacement policy outlines clear criteria and procedures for replacing shrubs that are dying, hazardous, or overgrown, and emphasizes environmental stewardship, biodiversity, and water conservation. And whereas the policy also ensures all shrub replacement requests are assessed by the Landscape Department, with final selections favoring drought-tolerant, regionally appropriate plants sourced from the GRF nursery. And whereas resident requests for shrub replacement will follow a structured process, including request submission, professional evaluation, board of staff approval, and scheduled installation aligned with seasonal best practices and available budget. And whereas the policy has been reviewed and recommended for adoption by the Landscape Committee. Now therefore be it resolved, July 15th, 2025, the Board of Directors hereby adopts the shrub replacement policy as presented, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out this resolution. I would make one other recommendation. Do we have the Landscape Director here? Do we have him take us through a brief presentation of this policy?
Yes. Director Kurt is here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We all seem to be in good moods today. Not
Okay.
Reza? Reza's shaking his head, no, I'm not.
No, this all depends on your presentation.
Is the coffee ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So what this is about is we have a fairly extensive tree policy. We have the urban forest management plan, which gives us a lot of guidelines for trees. But what we don't have is for shrubs. So shrub requests take up a lot of our time. We, as the report says, we got over 3,250 requests for shrub replacements last year, and we spend over 4 to 6 hours of staff time just trying to resolve these requests. And what it boils down to is what we were referring to as concierge type landscaping. This place has been built, when you come and buy this place, a unit in Laguna Woods Village, it's built as resort style living. And when you go to a resort, you get to go to your room, you get to pick up your phone and order a cocktail or order breakfast. And here, you get to call up and order a rose bush or a new pine tree. And unfortunately, we can't afford that anymore. What we're getting is, like your report says, we spend village-wide over $500,000 a year just responding to requests for shrub replacements. We get calls from people who are saying, I've got red roses out the front of my house. I don't like them. I like white roses. I don't want poinsettias out here. I want something else. And we just can't afford to do that. So we need to set policies on what we will replace and what we won't. If it's a dead shrub, yes, it should be replaced, and we should be doing that when we're doing our regular services. If they're old, tired bushes that need to be replaced, we can evaluate them and replace them when we're doing our cycles on a scheduled basis, not when people call, because that's wasting way so much of your money and our time, and it's keeping us from doing what we should be doing. So that's what this policy is about, allowing us to evaluate them on a case-by-case basis in the office instead of sending field staff. Like I said, we're spending 4 to 6 hours just chasing these down, trying to get a hold of people, trying to get out there and meet them, because they call in and they say, I would like the bush underneath my bedroom window replaced. We don't know which window is your bedroom window. We don't know which bedroom you're talking about. So we were asking them to provide us a plan, provide us pictures. We're going to give them access to all of the plants in the GRF nursery and guide them through the process. We can do all that from the office, so we don't have to spend staff time out in the field. And then we can actually schedule the work for when the staff is out there, saving you time, and saving you money and saving us time. So that's what this is all about.
Yeah, could you also follow up with provisions you found in the Monarch report? How that
Yes.
affects your department?
Well, yes, with the Monarch report, one of the things that the Monarch report came about was that we are spending way too much time on tickets. They said, comparably sized, we're getting 100 to 150 tickets a day for various services that we offer. And comparably sized communities like us get 50 a month. So there's a definite mindset here. And like I said, it's that, resort style living. You get to call up and get whatever you want. And as far as landscaping goes, with the budget that we have and us trying to keep our budget low and increase the service levels we have with the budget as it is, we've got to start kind of containing some of the services we offer, at least from landscaping, because it's just not practical to do all of these services. We're going to continue to offer the maintenance services that we're doing. Third is increase them to 6 cycles a month, and that's working. We're getting a lot of kudos for that, and people are happy with that. But I think the more that we can cut down on the unnecessary tickets, the more time we can spend, because when we do get these tickets, we have to pull guys off of their regular scheduled work to respond to them. So if we can keep them on their regularly scheduled work and not responding to these tickets, we can do more of the regularly scheduled work and not rush around and do a better job. So that's the whole goal, is to be able to do a better job while we're out there.
Yes.
Kurt, how much overlap is between this and the prior to paint program shrub removal?
Completely unrelated.
Because we do the removal behind the people's bedroom, because at the paint program we do the same thing. There should be some relationship between what bushes we take out, what we put in. Isn't it the same?
No, in the paint program, we're doing complete renovation. So this is referring to buildings that are 10 years down the road in the paint program. People don't even know that they're on the paint program, that call us up, like I said, and want us to replace bushes because they don't like the type of bushes.
Right. But that's what I'm saying, is the type of bushes that we put in place should be similar to what we do with the prior to
Yes,
paint program,
that's why-
because
that's
we are
why-
not going to give them different type things.
Right. Right, that's why we're going. That's
That's
why
the
we-
overlap, right?
That's, I guess you could call that overlap.
Okay, that's what I was looking for, what the overlap is. between
That's why
the-
we're letting them pick only from plants that are in the GRF nursery,
Okay,
because that's
yeah.
what we're growing.
Okay.
And
So-
all that will be available online. We're working on it by the time this gets on 28th day. There will be online available pictures, and it hooks up to Wikipedia, so you can research the plant materials that we have and learn all you want about them. So all that will be available to the residents.
Steve? Yes.
Also, considerations you're incorporating are for Zone 0.
Yes, we
Yes.
will inform residents that put in requests that are in Zone 0 what they're up against for that.
Yeah. I'd like to make a comment quick here. I want to make sure third residents understand on our policy, personal preference, which is shrub will not be replaced for personal preference. I hope our residents understand that part clearly. Okay? Okay? Thank you.
I'll make a
And-
motion to approve.
Okay? Second is Ruth. Michaela, you got it? Okay, good. So is it time to vote?
Yes.
Yes, please.
We can do it tomorrow.
Okay, let's do it. One more. Good. 11 to nothing, so it's been approved. Good, thank you. Item
E.
E.
No,
D.
D, I'm sorry.
D.
Entertain motion to request a special open corporate members meeting.
Okay.
So, Steve?
Okay, Resolution 03-25-XX, request for special corporate members meeting. Whereas the Third Laguna Hills Mutual Board of Directors is requesting to call a special open corporate members meeting in cooperation with United Laguna Woods Mutual Board of Directors. And whereas the purpose of the meeting is to vote on the following. Number one, rescind GRF resolution to install any EV locations in Laguna Woods Village. Number 2, rescind GRF resolution to install solar panels on Laguna Woods Village clubhouses. Number 3, include an earmark of a minimum of $4 million for the replacement of Building E in the current budget. Now therefore be it resolved, June 17th, 2025, that the Board of Directors hereby approves a resolution to request a special open corporate members meeting, and resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the process of this resolution.
Yeah, purpose of this resolution.
So moved.
Okay. Robert moved. Who is the second?
I moved.
She moved. She moved.
Peggy moved
Peggy
the
moved.
second. Let's discuss about this matters. It is, we are doing,
United,
Yeah, Robert, yes.
United approved this resolution word for word last week at its board meeting. And President Park, along with President Choi, had discussions beforehand that we would also support this. And I recommend that we do support this. And it doesn't mean that you have to vote in favor of any one of these items on this list, but when we have the corporate members meeting, there'll be an open discussion about it, and then you'll get to have your say and your vote as an individual corporate member.
yes. Any more discussion? Yes.
Just a question, there's a GRF meeting?
No, it's a corporate members meeting.
Okay.
Members meeting, members special meeting.
Right, but there's a GRF meeting in July. where
Right.
As a, mutuals, all are invited and to vote at that meeting also.
Right. GRF members, board members are not allowed to vote. This is only for mutual board members, United, Third, and Tower. Okay? So any more discussion? Yes.
Is there going to be more additional information presented at a later time, such as reasons why and things like that?
Yeah, that'll all be.
That's what the
That's what I assume.
Yeah.
So what you see here is not
No, this is
complete.
just a resolution.
Resolution of that. Well, main purpose of that is, we don't want to waste the money, period.
Well, we'll discuss that at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? No? Let's vote. One more?
There it is.
Okay, 11-0. So all passed. Now,
Number E.
number E. Recommendation to approve the variance request for door revision from 6 feet 8 inches to 8 feet 0 inches, and window size revision at Manor 5309 Cantante. So, any motion about
Yeah,
this?
I'll make a motion that this be sent back to committee for reconsideration.
I'll second it.
Okay, Robert, move to resend to the committee, which is
ACSC. Yes. And then I do have the owner who submitted a request to speak.
Yes,
He certainly
please.
can.
Yeah, please. It's time for you to
Paul Lee?
present to us. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you for opportunity to speak. I almost lost my spot, but thank you for saving. Yes, I'd like to have a chance to testimony in my situation. Right now, the house, I'm the homeowner of the 5309. Yesterday, they put a stop notice for the construction because of its unauthorized the 4 doors installation, which was on the process of the variance. I was 10 days ago, 12 days ago exactly, June 5th, I was attended here, and then it was passed. 5 members, thankfully, the raised, agreed and it passed, and I was excited. I was waiting for 3 months. since I submit the application the March 7th, and then it's for variance for those 4 doors. I was so excited, and then just next day, I thought that's it. So next day, I installed it because there is some reasons. I mean, there is some safety and security reasons behind it around in the circumstances. Let me explain a little bit about this. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. It's located at all the way end of the Cantante, where right next to the wilderness. My house is a really beautiful view, but the bad thing is that there's a lot of snakes. I don't know if you heard about that. The next door, the neighbor, we just agreed at the beginning, and then she told me that, hey, be careful, you guys, that there's many snakes. And then the gardeners, all people, they comment the same things. And then that was true. I mean, I saw myself 3 or 4 times the snake on the, and then the workers, they saw many times. And I captured some pictures here. I made 10 copies. I mean, if you don't want to see the snake, you don't have to, but...
You know what this thing looks
Give
like.
to secretary and we'll,
Yeah?
give to secretary and then she will distribute. Yes. Go ahead, continue.
You should say coyote, not snake.
And then one incident, it came in inside of the garage, and then there was full of the materials and all that. It sneaked under. We have to move all the one by one to chase out. So we spend hours to take them out. And then I was here attending ACSC meeting about several days before the snake came into the living room area, and then we throw the stuff and the wood chase out. Or immediately one goes under the cabinets. Now hopefully it's gone after that. We don't see it so far. We check on and off. We're searching the snake in there. So I really want to close the door immediately, as soon as possible, for a long time. And then I actually temporarily. I couldn't. I know it's not permitted yet. So I just temporarily screwed and dangling the doors, and then with the temporary plywood so that we can come in and out. Every day we have to screw back and open it in the morning, and then at night and screw back. But one day we found it was open. And then I think that I know that the neighbors around the people, they're just curious about the house that's going on. And looks like, I didn't see that, but looks like somebody coming in and then check around there. There's no, we have electricity, but no lights. It's very dark, and there's many sharp edges and the nails on the floor. And then if somebody falls down and hurt, it's going to be really serious. And then also I waited a long time. David just missed that review and a couple of times, and I have to wait 3 months. So for that reason, for the circumstances, I really eager to install as soon as possible. So it was past the ACS meeting. The next day, wow, it's done. So I just talked to the workers, said, hey, install it. And then the next 3 or 4 days, we finished the drywall and stucco, and then we finished really fast. And then it was the problem because it was put it up the unauthorized installation. But even though we went through all the process of the variance, and then we went through all the ACSC meeting approval, so I didn't intend to violate the law from the beginning. When we actually, it looks like some issues, the outdoor patio things. This is not my own design. I work with David in the variance. Whatever question I have, I always contact with them. We had many transmitters and the emails. I can show it to you if you want to. And then even he showed me, he suggested me, because you have the beautiful backyard, they have to put the tie on.
Okay. So could you summarize,
So,
please?
So, yes. Please I didn't intend to violate law, and then I was naive, and my rash act is my problem, but I want you to understand I didn't have intention to violate law.
Okay.
And then,
Yes.
I have a question. Is this the first house you've done?
no,
You've done other ones?
yes.
Many.
Many. So you are aware of the process?
Yes, but I know, okay, I do about once a year, the process, but I was not familiar with the process in here.
Okay, so that's fine. Anybody else has a question?
Requested, please lift the stop notice imposing, some notice lift this so that we can keep working. And also, I found that the folding door, the open artwork, the Parker was pointed out last time. I met Mr. Brett yesterday. I was the Park yesterday, and then I talked to him yesterday. I found any doors open outwards, encroaching the common area is not allowable here. So I'm willing to replace all the outdoor folding doors to the sliding doors. If they don't allow it, I don't want to insist with people.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so anybody else has a question? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, what's the reason for pulling it back to committee?
Okay.
Because he installed the doors that he wasn't supposed to install, that have not been approved. He has taken over common area that has not been approved. There's a whole host of issues related to this. So it's not just the doors.
It's not just doors.
It's more than the doors.
Okay.
And we want to revisit this and review everything as related to how we permitted and that kind of thing. Because this board also has the right to rescind the license agreement
For the common area.
for the common area.
Yep.
So that's what we want to look at as well,
Right.
is the possibility of rescinding that issue. So this needs to go back to
Go
committee.
back to committee. Yes. My point is this.
Then
It's my point. You're done. My point is this. When you specifically request approval of folding door, I ask you how that folding door works. Is you or someone told me you recess 2-3 feet back so that folding door does not invade into the common area.
No.
Just hold on. That's how I understood, and I understood exactly. I know what I'm talking about.
Wait, let me-
But when I visited there,
Is there a motion
that
on the
was
floor?
President Park,
Yes.
let me interrupt you. There's no reason to get into the personal issue of.
No, it's not personal.
Wait. So let's just vote to send this back to
Okay.
committee.
Yeah, we
And
need
do
to
that.
review this.
And not.
So I gotta explain to him
I
why.
so moved that we send it back to committee.
Okay, just a second,
Then I call
just
for
a
the
second.
question.
Okay.
This, what we're looking at in front of us, does not adequately
Describe.
show and describe what his motion was.
Yeah, that's the
This
reason
says
why I'm
recommendation
explaining
to
to you
approve.
why we're sending this.
can I?
Can't update it on here right now, so just, you're gonna.
Okay,
The minutes.
what we heard.
Sending it back to ECS.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all,
So-
that's all. this
That's
is
what
about.
it is,
Can
it's
I-
sending it back.
Right.
Can I ask?
Yes.
So the motion is, we're not voting on discussion of this recommendation.
No,
Right.
that's all.
That's just what I told him.
Right.
Jim, he can't change that at this moment in time.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, you're voting to just send this whole issue of 5309 back to the committee.
Committee, yes.
I completely
At-
understand that. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that.
The wording
Yes,
is right.
we know that. That's the reason why I started explaining why. He's violating our rule. So that's it.
Wait, no.
Okay. Okay, so,
They're voting right now.
Oh,
okay, so are we have any more discussion?
No, we're already voting. People are
Okay,
voting.
okay. Yeah, let's vote.
Where are the others here?
I don't know, mine does not work. Oh, okay.
There it is.
Mine doesn't work here. Anyhow.
Okay. One more?
Yeah.
That's better.
Okay. So one abstain, 10 yes. So we are sending this resolution back to committee members and discuss further review. Okay? Thank you.
Can I ask one request?
Just quick 1 minute.
Yes, yes. Thank you. They imposed the stop notice, but can we keep working in the inside of the work? I mean, the
No,
cabinets-
no. You have a cease and desist, that cease and desist period.
Yeah. Your entire work
Has to
cease
stop.
and desist.
So until next.
We resolve this issue.
So what is the procedure? I'd like to know. What
It's going to go before the architectural committee, the one you appeared at previously. Next month, it's going to go to that committee for the whole
the
discussion and
review,
review. And you certainly can attend that meeting as well.
When is it going to be, sir?
Next, I don't know. Well,
July 7th.
check with the chairman of the
Yes.
ACSC, and then he will.
July 7th.
And
July
then-
2nd? Yeah.
7.
July 7th.
And then I'd like to let you know the variance to plan is submitted from the beginning.
Yes.
I clearly shows that the folding door is opened outward. If you check the.
Come to the committee if you want to discuss this. We're done discussing it today. You can come to the committee meeting on
Right.
July 7th.
Let's discuss at the ACSC. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're done. Item 11. Now, item 12, 30 Mitchell Committee report. First, Donna, take away for Finance Committee.
Okay. And today we've got the report in two parts because while we are living with our current budget process and income, revenue, and expenses, we are also in the midst of planning for 2026. So we have you got those, Michaela? Great, okay. So I just want to very quickly and briefly go over some of the budget process that we're going through right now and some of the factors affecting costs. And to start, I just want to share with you something we never get to do and talk about in finance because there's no spot for it in the report. And that is some of the projects that we've been doing over the years because we always speak in terms of a single year. And so we've done, over the years, several environmental projects that not only have helped the environment, but have actually had financial benefits for the community. Look in your next issue of The Breeze. There will be an article that will be describing some of what we've done. Landscape watering, landscape watering was changed to recycled water everywhere except gates 11 and 14. Thousands and thousands of square feet of turf removal, solar panels, all kinds of things. For those of you still here before you leave, there are flyers on the counter just so that you can take a peek at them. But again, in the next issue of The Breeze, there will be a full article describing some of these things. And what's wonderful is every single one of these projects has not only helped the community, has not only helped the environment, but has actually had financial benefits for us. So I just wanted to highlight that. And with that, just share with you, we are now in the midst of planning the 2026 budget process. It started last November for our departments and the folks who work here and support us. Began workshops with board committees in January and February. April, the department heads developed some preliminary operating budgets. And in May and June, and frankly on June 9th, the budgets were reviewed and presented to the board as version 1. We asked them at that time to go back to the drawing board. We kind of shared some of our concerns with it, hoping that it would not be as high as it was. We were looking at around 10%, and we want that much less. And so we have asked them to go back. In July, we'll get version 2, which will be prepared and distributed to the board. And on August 18th, I just want to share with all of our members that version 3 will be presented at a televised board meeting. And of course, it will also be available on TV6. In September, the plan will be adopted. And in November, assessment letters will be mailed to each of the members. One of the things that I just think is really important while we are working through this process that all of our members are aware of is we can control some things. And we've asked each of the departments to look again and go back to the drawing board. But there are some things we can't control. We can't control inflation. We can't control regulations. Organic waste is something we've been dealing with for a couple of years, and that's a contract the city enters with the people who take care of it. But we also have concerns about non-functional turf. You hear it discussed as AB 5072, where non-functional turf can't be watered with potable water. And in Third Mutual, all of Third Mutual is recycled with the exception of gates 11 and 14, and that's for really specific reasons, and the cost and the process is pretty much prohibitive. So it's something we're dealing with. We haven't gotten, they still have not defined specifically what is non-functional turf, and so we're still working with that, but we have to plan for it. There's no way we can just ignore it. And fire risk reduction you heard about earlier. We can't do anything about utility rate increases. We can't do, that means water, sewer, and electricity, salaries, minimum wage increases, and union contracts. Insurance industry rate increases I had put on there, which is normally something we can't do much about, but this year with a great deal of effort from both boards, United and Third working together, and Dan Yost, our insurance person, we have actually gotten some positive results and are very pleased about that. If we move on, we just ask that our residents consider some money-saving options. Easy pay for assessments, that's apparently got into it. They've got the slides out of sequence for me. Just things you can do as members and things that we can suggest. Easy pay, things like that. It'll all be posted online. And with that, we will go into the very brief treasurer's report. And we have eliminated quite a few of the slides to try and make this a simpler report for everybody. The first slide that you'll see is sort of the 30,000-foot view. And we are looking actually at all of our budgets, all of our revenues, all of our expenses. And you can see that through the reporting period, remember this is through to April 30th, total revenue through Third was $16.5 million compared to expenses of $13.5 million, giving us a net revenue overall of $2.9 million. As we move on to slide 2, here are the most significant variances. We always love to see green. It means it is in our favor. It is a positive variance. And outside services was a very large one, but just want to let you know that primarily that was in landscape and M&C and was driven by mowing cycles being moved to in-house labor. So although it reduced outside labor, we unfortunately have to pick it up in-house. Employee compensation was, and related, was a little bit better and favorable, primarily again in M&C to do some open positions, but unfortunately some of that was offset a bit by moving things in-house for landscaping. Investment income was favorable and better than we had anticipated at the time that the investments were made. Our collectible accounts, it's always nice when uncollectible accounts are favorable, and utilities and telephone were negative. Again, that's the area we can't control. So that's the end of that slide, and I see we have a question from a board member.
I do. When we were going through the budget, outside services was in the reserve study and not in the operational study. Does the positive variance take into consideration that it came out of the reserve?
We're looking at overall. Yes, I said
Okay.
that was the 30,000-foot view.
Thank
We will
you.
separate those out for you.
Yes.
Donna, as much as I love to see all of these variances in the positive side but that tells me that maybe we need to do a better budgeting as we go forward. Because, usually you have to have a tighter budget to have so much variance going through the year. That means either we didn't put money in right places or So for the next year, I hope that these numbers would be tighter rather than being such a, big gap.
One of the issues raised, and thank you for the comment, because I was asked to hurry up the report, therefore I went quickly through it.
Yeah.
No, but I want people to know, it's much like those of us who are on a fixed income every month where we get a certain amount each month, but the bills may come 4 months later. We still can only live on what we have. And so this is very much the same thing. So because I was hurrying and trying to condense everything, I didn't mention that the timing of some of the invoices is what changed it. So there's nothing wrong with the budget. It's got to do with when the invoices come in, and we all kind of live with that. They use an accrual method for our finances here, and that means every month the amount we get is the same,
Okay.
and the bills change.
No, I was just going to respond to what she did.
Yes, Steve?
Yeah, not only invoices, but some projects have not even started yet. So you won't even see that until later.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't have any copper pipe replacements yet, and so we do budget for those things, because if we didn't plan for them, that could be an
Okay.
issue. And Robert?
No.
No, you don't have any?
Go on.
Okay, let's go on. Yes,
Okay.
Moon.
Yeah. When you look at the, variance and favorable and unfavorable, let me say outside service is 700 grand. Favorable to us, that means we pay less or we pay more?
Okay, what it means is that in this case, much of it was due to the fact that we moved some of the people from the contracts from outside services to in-house. So our outside services bill was less, but our in-house one is more.
Yeah,
So
same
it's,
as- yeah,
so, but it still says our outside services budget is favorable. We can't change that.
Well,
That
favorable,
is
that
good.
doesn't mean we saved money.
It
Okay,
means
how
we
about-
saved money in that area.
We haven't spent the
How
money.
about the employee compensation?
We don't know.
200 grand. Did we pay the more or to pay the less?
It was favorable primarily from open positions in M&C.
So we didn't pay the less.
We didn't pay it because we didn't have employees.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, there were other comments.
Yeah, and thank you.
I rushed because I was hoping it would be faster because you
Right,
asked me.
yeah, okay.
And it wound up
This
with
is
more
what
questions.
Rez is for.
Yes, of course, it always is.
I mean, I think this is important.
Yes, please.
I'm not sure we
Jim.
should be rushing this
Well,
report,
that-
but anyway.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. I would like to say, though, that I think in Finance Committee, maybe we should take up how this report should be generated, because I think confusing operating and reserve spending can confuse the issue significantly.
We separated out at the end, so
I know.
maybe that's kind of the way it's
But
been
when
done.
I
We
see
can look at
outside
that,
services
certainly.
and we start talking about reserve expenditures, then I can see where we would get confused.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
But that is the whole that we just did. Okay? Any other questions before we move on? All right,
Please,
yeah, I've been trying. Okay, on our next slide, please. Okay, and as you can see, this is very self-explanatory. These are the total expenses, and the largest one being employee compensation, and moving in clockwise fashion around, you see insurance, outside services, and I think that chart speaks for itself. The total expenses had already been stated. Now we look at the operating income and the operating expenses. And here you can see that we're looking specifically for our operating budget in assessment and non-assessment revenue. Those are the two areas we look at for revenue, and our total expense is what we've budgeted for the year. This is important because it's what we anticipate, whereas reserves are moved as needed, although we still do make some estimates on them. And you can see that at the moment, as of April 30th, we had an operating surplus of $1.2 million. Moving on. Our non-operating fund, and that includes very small garden villa fund, our unappropriated expenditures, which in fact is what we call our contingency fund in most other cases, the disaster fund, replacement funds, which is our big reserve fund, and the total of all of those funds. And as you can see at the moment, the current balances are $36,775,000, and these balances have been growing each year. We've worked very hard at that. There was one year where it dropped down intentionally because we had some work we had to do. Moving on. This is just to show you how the fund balances have changed over the years, and you can see that the replacement funds, with the exception of 2024, where we intentionally had some expenses we knew we would have to incur, has been growing each year. And just so you know, on the very top, there's a teeny tiny little gray line. That's the Garden Villa Rec Room Fund. We didn't ignore it. It's just small. And the last slide is our resale history, and you can see that year to date we've had 149 sales, 3 more than last year. This is our slow time, though, has been, and so we will look forward to the summer being hopefully a little more robust. And with that, that concludes my report.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, we have eliminated probably about 6 slides that had a lot of tables and numbers and condensed it. So hopefully it's helpful for our members, because that's the purpose.
Okay. Thank you, Donna. And the next item is ACSC report. Director Yun.
Thank you. We met May 12, and we discussed several things, and one of them, also we met the June 6th, and today we had the item D was rescinded. We are saying we're going to discuss it again. And other than that, we are trying to revise the fee schedule to update the current all the expenses we are incurring. And so we're going to meet, the next meeting is July 3rd, and I'm not so sure since it's so close, so I'm going to wait until the steps coming up a different date. Thank you.
Okay, good, thank you. And item C, which is MNC report, Dr. Karimi.
Thank you, Mr. President. The last MNC meeting was canceled and we did the budget, so there is no report for that.
Okay.
Our next meeting is July 7, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. in the boardroom. Thank you.
Okay, report of the landscape, item D, Colonel Parson, please.
Colonel? Okay, real quick. The VMS Nursery has new software to inventory plant material and watering schedules for plants, which is nice. Savings to be realized there. New mule vehicles have been ordered, which have greater capacity for picking up clippings. Several people have mentioned that they haven't had their clippings picked up. This should help with that. Fire Zone Zero legislation is still pending. Some state provisions will be received the end of month June and the rest in December 2025. We are looking into the possibility of dethatching the grass areas in Third Mutual. The grass has become so full of kikuyu grass and thatch that water cannot reach the depth required for healthy lawns. The initial cost proposal is $75,000. Water savings will be realized as well using this procedure. More to follow on this. We now have a 4-man landscape modernization crew. This crew replaces old and end-of-use life plant material, replacing with drought-tolerant plants where appropriate. They also replant small slopes. Weeds grow quickly after rainy periods. Landscape staff perform spot kills on these weeds after rainy periods. Several people have mentioned that. The slope overgrowth along Santa Maria Street belongs to the Willows. We have requested that they perform slope maintenance and cut down the plant material along Santa Maria. They are working on it and are nearly completed. I saw them out there this morning. This will improve the appearance along the roadway. Next meeting will be 3 July, 9:30 a.m. in the boardroom.
Okay, thank you. Item E, Water Conservation Committee, Director Johnson. I don't know why she is, her name.
Because it was accidentally
Okay,
carried
yeah.
over from the previous month, but I.
Okay, yes, please.
It was the month that I couldn't.
Yes.
go.
So the
We
last-
met. Huh?
Go on.
Yeah. The Water Conservation Committee meets quarterly on the last Thursday of the month of January, April, July, and October. Our next meeting will be July 31st at 2 p.m. in the Elm Room here on the first floor, and we encourage everybody
Okay.
to please attend.
Thank you. Item F, report of the Resident Policy and Compliance Committee.
Policy and Compliance Committee met on the 28th of May and considered two issues.
Microphone, thank you.
One of those issues was placed on 28-day notice today. That has to do with the schedule of monetary penalties for things like alterations, clutter, landscape restrictions, etc. The penalty for most violations ranges from $150 to $2,000. The exception to this range is for the violation of alteration guidelines, which now ranges from $150 to $10,000. Actually, it doesn't already do that. It's on 28-day notice. The second item that the Resident Policy Committee addressed was the alteration of exclusive use common area. This issue is being discussed by the committee, and at this point in time, there are varying opinions on what, if any, restrictions should be placed on a member's use of their exclusive use common area. Discussion about this will continue at our next meeting, which is scheduled for the 24th of June at 9:30 here in the boardroom.
Thank you. And item 13, GRF Committee highlights. First, CAC. Director Muchnick.
The Community Activities Committee met on Thursday, June 12th, here in the boardroom. We had a full agenda. Items discussed and approved include the following. 1, the Performing Arts Center Music Room designation. The former billiards room in the Performing Arts Center has now been designated as a music room. A hybrid model for operation has been approved on a 6-month trial basis. The All Musicians Club will be loaning equipment that usually involves the back line as well as amps. There will be drop-in times if the room is not reserved. The second item they discussed was the dog licensing and vaccination day request by the Dog Club, which was approved as an exception to the recreation and special events policy. The Dog Club will now have an annual rollover with a waiver of the resident room rental rate to offer a rabies and other vaccinations for dogs. The date for the next dog vaccination clinic is February 5th, 2026. The third item we discussed was the Community Concert Club, which has been approved, their request for an exception to the GRF recreation poster policy. They will be permitted to place posters measuring 11 by 17 inches in clubhouses 1, 5, and 7, as well as the Performing Arts Center. They will only be allowed to place their posters in these locations for the same time period allowed for all other clubs. Because of time constraints, the final item for review and discussion, the proposed amendments to the GRF Recreation and Special Events Department policy and procedures, was postponed until next meeting of the Community Activities Committee, which will take place Thursday, July 10th at 1:30 here in the boardroom. And Howard Fox will be replacing me, so he will be doing the reporting.
Thank you. Please continue for traffic hearing as well.
Traffic hearings. Last meeting was the 21st of May. 9 cases came before the Traffic Hearing Committee. 8 of the cases involved failure to stop at posted stop sign. All 8 were found guilty. Fines for failure to stop begin at $200 for the first offense and go up to $400 for a third offense. One of those found guilty of failure to stop was a third-time offender, and the fine levied was $400. The next meeting of the traffic hearing, so please adhere to the rules and regulations of the road here in the village. Please stop at stop signs. The next meeting of the Traffic Hearing Committee is scheduled for tomorrow, the 18th, at 9 a.m. here in the boardroom, and that'll be the last traffic hearing that I attend. Howard Fox will be replacing me on that as well.
Good, thank you. Get ready for work, Mr. Fox. Item C, the Disaster Preparedness Task Force. Director Wayne, please.
Yes. When the board met, they were supposed to have...
Turn the mic on, please.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. When the board met, they were supposed to have Eric Nunez as the speaker, but he was unavailable. He was out of town. So Aaron stepped in for him and did a really great job. Now, one of the things that they brought up was everybody should have a kit at home, an emergency operations kit. And one of the problems is what's in your cabinet may have expired stuff in your cabinet. So they're saying replace all of these expired items in your cabinet.
Okay.
Radios in the medical cabinets is something that they're looking into. They need a captain for cul-de-sacs and other buildings. Bike registration at Clubhouse 7 was conducted on June 13th, and there were 94 bikes showing up for registration. That seemed a lot to me.
Okay.
Yeah. And Aaron told us that there have been bikes that have been recovered. And all the ones that we recovered had been registered. So that's definitely a reason for you to register your bikes. There's a lot of coordination going on between the city and us as far as the disaster preparedness. One of the things that came up was backup generators. We have 19 backup generators, but they do not work for the houses, for our units. They only work for the stations that we enter, enter and exit. Another thing that was brought up was that since they don't have coordinates, since they don't have backup generators that reach our homes, then everybody should have a lantern. And lanterns are relatively inexpensive, so you should consider that as something you want to have in your home. Okay, and the next meeting is going to be?
July 29th?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item D, GRF Maintenance and Construction Committee, Director Parson.
Okay, last meeting was on the 11th of June this year. Items included, a fence was damaged near Gate 14 recently. A car hit the fence and damage repairs are in progress. Clubhouse 1 Fitness Center gym flooring is still putting off an order, not conducive to breathing by some residents. The staff will try again to ventilate with fans and will try spraying the floor with a solution made up of 1 part of water to 1 part vinegar. Also, if needed, the local air quality department may be asked to take air samples to assist in lowering the pungent odor in the fitness center. Next, a proposal will be brought forth soon for acoustic applications to be installed in Clubhouse 1 multi-purpose rooms 1 and 2 and rooms 2 and 3 in Building F. Next, the GRF M&C project log was reviewed and 2 completed projects were noted. Number 1, the Clubhouse 3 or PAC sound system is completed, and number 2, Clubhouse 2 deck pool surface resurfacing is completed and operational. Next meeting will be 13 August, 9:30 a.m. here in the boardroom.
Okay, item E, Finance Committee, GRF Finance Committee, Director Sostek, please.
The GRF Finance Committee will meeting tomorrow here in the boardroom at 1:30.
Okay, good, thank you. GRF Mobility and Vehicle Committee, Director Johnson, please.
The prior meeting was held on May 7th and reported in our board meeting of May. The next meeting is scheduled for August the 6th in the boardroom at 1:30 p.m.
Okay, next item is a GRF Landscape Committee meeting was held on June 16, which was yesterday, 1:30 p.m. in this boardroom. In that meeting, committee discussed items and considered the following. First, Aliso Creek update of a pre- and post-maintenance activity summary, including bird nesting, native plants removal, and reduction. Item 2, 2026 budget that shows budget decrease over 2025, which I was surprised. And 3, Part 3 clubhouse and surrounding renovations. Next, the GRF Landscape Committee meeting is scheduled Wednesday, August 13, 2025, 1:30 p.m. in this boardroom. Thank you. And item H, Space Planning and Ad Hoc Committee, Director Muchnick.
The ad hoc committee last met on March 24th, so clearly there's nothing to update you on. The next scheduled meeting is June 30th at 9:30 here in the boardroom.
Good, thank you. Information Technology Advisory Committee, Director Hopkins, please.
I have no report on that. I was
Okay,
not here.
thank you. Next meeting is July 25th or, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
It,
good.
it meets every last Friday of the
Right,
month.
so every other month, okay. GRF Broadband Ad Hoc Committee, Director Muchnick, please.
The committee actually last met on April 21st. There currently is no scheduled meeting at this time. However, last week, Ting, the successful bidder for the installation of the conduit and the operation of it, began construction on the new fiber optic system here in the village. They're saying there may be a chance that the first section will go live with the new fiber optic and the DirecTV sometime in August.
Oh, wow.
So they're really moving, and the completion of the total system should be about 18 months. There's going to be some real issues. They're going to have to get into every manor in the village.
Okay.
That means residents and tenants are going to have to allow them to come in. They're going to attempt to come in on a couple of different occasions. If you do not allow them in or you're not home, well, you'll be noticed long in advance. And if you're not home or not allow them in, eventually there will be charges that you will have to pay because we don't have any choice but to enter your unit and to do this.
Okay.
So please be cooperative.
Okay, thank you, thank you. That's a good information. Thank you, Director Muchnick. Security and Committed Access Committee, I thought we had that.
Yeah, you
No.
know.
Okay,
Director.
Director Moore?
Thank you. No, that's me, first time. The last meeting of this was on April the 23rd. The next meeting is going to be on June 25th, and it's going to be 1:30 in the boardroom.
Good, thank you. This concludes GRF committee highlights and the future item, agenda items. Do we, first, we have amended schedule of monetary penalties. Okay, we gotta go through again. Adopt the shrub replacement policy, those two.
That's what I do.
And then anything
No,
else?
at this point, no.
No? What about, nothing? Okay, good. So we're done for the future agenda items. First, item 15. First, director comments from Jim Hopkins.
No comment.
Okay, how about Howard Fox?
No comment.
You roll
Later.
the sleeve and start working, Director Fox. How
Howard
about
is just-
Craig?
Howard is just hoping that the next time he misses a meeting, we don't give him more assignments.
No, he has to have more. Director Muchnick has about 10 of them.
Not anymore.
Okay, so next item, Director Ruth Johnson.
No comment.
Okay, Peggy,
No comment.
how about Robert?
I don't have a comment, but Stuart and Shell, you've both been sitting there the whole time. Do you have any comments?
You gonna yield your comment?
I'll yield my comment to Stuart Hack.
You do such a fabulous job. How could we comment?
Okay, good,
Wow.
thank you. Steve?
No.
No? How
No.
about Donna?
No.
Mood is gone? Oh, I, okay.
see him sneak out.
Okay, I didn't see him. What about our staff?
No comments.
No? How about Michaela? Good. You don't have any comments? No? Okay. Okay, this is done, and we are into the recess for lunch. Now, this is about 10 minutes to 12. We will see you 12:15 in the Willow Room, okay? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.